Hi guys. So today I want to introduce to you a really cool product that I found, and I was just so impressed with this idea. Um, this is a fire steel for your Swiss Army knife. So basically, it's a little ferro rod that goes in the toothpick slot on your Swiss Army knife. It comes in both a small size for your little keychain sized knives and also the medium and large size knives. So, and here's what it looks like. I have one in my Rambler and also one in my Swiss Champ. These are currently the only two Swiss Army knives I have with scales. I also have a Farmer, but obviously it can't house a one of these. So let's have a look at this. It is quite small, so you might wonder if it's practical. But in my experience, it works just fine. It's not going to be as easy as using something like this, or even a large half-inch one. But you can very definitely start a fire with this if you know what you're doing. So with that in mind, let's talk about how you would use one of these to start a fire. So there are two methods. One you can use is char cloth. And if you don't know what char cloth is, it is basically natural material such as cotton or just like leaves and things that has been charred by putting it in a container, an airtight container, and cooking it. So this will prevent air from getting into it, so it doesn't combust, it doesn't burn and burn up, essentially. But it does char, so it becomes like charcoal. And this is highly reactive and will catch even a very small spark, such as the ones you can make from just striking a piece of carbon steel against a hard rock. So this is very old technology, and it's a very easy thing to strike a spark off of one of these and catch it onto a piece of this. So let's take out a striker. So to strike these, you need a sharp edge. I do not recommend using your knife because you'll just dull your knife. So instead, I recommend taking a sharpening stone or a file to your nail file here on the Rambler, or just using the already sharp back of the saw. If you have a saw on your Swiss Army knife, you can see I've already struck a ferro rod with this quite a bit. So this is already sharp enough to strike a ferro rod out of the box from the factory. This needs a little bit of work on a sharpening stone or something. But anyway, so you find the right angle. You might have to play around a little bit with this. And there's two ways of doing it. You can either hold the steel, whoopsie. You can either hold the steel supported under your finger and throw sparks this way. And or you can turn it around and put this up against the tinder and run this over the top. And I think that's actually an easier way to do it when you're trying to light natural tinder. So, but for lighting char cloth, I'm going to do it this way. So try and keep it where you can see. And I'm going to mainly pull this back because I don't want to push on this and just, knock over my tin here. And you see we got a little ember already. Sorry for hitting the camera there. So you can throw those pretty well for such a small such a small fire steel. But that should come as no surprise. Good char cloth will very easily take a spark. Alright, so let's see if we can do it with a natural material. So I'm going to bring in a piece of wood here so I don't burn the table. And let's process some natural material. So if you want to start a fire with natural material, you're going to want to look for something fibrous and dry. Inner bark is good. Things like grass are good. And you want to process that into a very fine and fluffy substance. So I'm using just some hemp rope. You can use hemp or jute or cotton if you're at home. So I'm just going to scrape off some fuzz, basically. And the reason I'm demonstrating this is because, you can have all the nicest tools in the world, but if you don't know how to use them, then they're not going to do you any good. And it definitely takes some know-how to start a fire with a fire steel. But they are very useful. They're capable of lighting a wide range of natural materials. Okay, so I think that's fine enough. Might be a little coarse. Of course, if I were making a real fire, I would want a lot more material than this. But, so let's go to find our sharp edge here, right here. So what I'm going to do is take the fire steel, and I'm going to run it over the top. I'm going to pin the tinder down with this and run this over the top. Find the right angle. And there we go. First try. So, as you can see, that's definitely practical. You can absolutely start a fire with this. And then just put it back in your knife for safekeeping. So I thought this was a great product. I've always wanted to add the ability to make fire to these already incredibly versatile pocket knives. And if you're into bushcraft, if you're into outdoors, anything, camping, even hiking, this weighs nothing. And in my opinion, it's a lot more useful than a toothpick. Don't replace the tweezers. The tweezers are very useful. You might get splinters, you might get a tick you need to remove, but the toothpick is something that can easily be replaced by anything. I mean, just pick up a stick and make your own toothpick if you need to. So this is an excellent add-on to any Swiss Army knife. So again, that is the Firefly. These are kind of new, so I'm surprised that I was surprised that more people didn't know about them, and then I found out that they've only been around, I think, the last 8 months that they've been selling them. Started off as a Kickstarter, apparently. But really great product. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.